Got rulers. We are now really going to start. This is our in-class review. Okay. First thing we're going to do, we are going to graph the line y equals negative 2x plus 3. We are doing number 1 together. You're going to do 2 on your own. How do we graph a line? Remind me where to start. What do you remember? I know you know this. Melissa, where do I start? At 3. On the x-axis or on the y-axis? Y-axis. There we go. Good. Jan, you remember what the slope is going to be? 3 is going to be the y-intercept. Give me that other number. That negative 2 is going to be my slope, and I'm going to make it negative 2 over 1, so I see a rise and a run. So that negative 2 means I should be going down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. I hope this is coming back a little bit. Maybe. Connect the dots. And because we want to make this a line, we're going to stick arrows on the ends. And it should look something like that. You are now going to go graph this one. Y equals 3 halves x minus 4. Go for it. See what you can do with that one. Leticia, where did you start for number 2? Yeah, x-axis or y-axis? Always the y-axis. Good. And then can you tell me how you moved? Up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 2. I like it. I'm going to do it again. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 2, 1, 2. I had a ruler. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to connect the dots. Hello? Thank you. And hopefully your line looks something like this.
So these are the 2 that she has
that are absent. Oh, perfect. Okay.
New person?
Yes.
Okay, and then our friend.
Yes.
Okay. I just put it on the back of my
got a much
calendar,
better
so.
track record than we do at the moment.
I didn't mark it here, but.
No, I'll take care of that.
wasn't
I've
sure.
got that. And can I give you this, Ms. L? So do we have a line that looks something like mine? Maybe? Number 3. We want to now write the equation of a line. What do all equations look like? Y equals mx plus b. The b is our y-intercept, where we cross that y-axis. So, Kaylin, what is that y-intercept going to be in this first one? Negative 4, because I see it crossing the y-axis right over there. Good, negative 4. And Danny, the m is our slope. Is our slope positive or negative? Good. Can you tell me what the rise is, and can you tell me what the run is? 6 over? I like it. Are you actually going to say 6 over 2, though? What are you actually going to say? 3 over 1, or even we can just say 3. So we're going to say our equation is y equals 3x minus 4. You go try number 4 while I work on getting attendance in. Okay, so we are missing Dima. Shane, Oliver, Alex, Jonathan, what did you say for the b? But I want the y-intercept, not the x-intercept. So not 4, but where's across the y-axis? 2. That's what we're going to say for our b value. Next, Darius, is the slope positive or negative? Negative. Good. What's your rise? What's your run? Yeah, so what did you say originally for your rise and your run? Negative 2. Good, over 4, and I like that you simplify that, and now because the denominator is the bigger one number, I know I'm going to get a fraction rather than like a whole number answer here, so yeah, I like that negative 1/2 that you just said. We're going to say y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Nod your head if you got that, or if you came pretty close. Questions? Okay, let's turn the page. Now we get into like the algebra stuff we were doing with our lines. Number 5, write the equation of a line with slope. Let's say our slope is well, I think we'll start with an easier one. Slope 5 going through 3, negative 2. We want to write the equation of the line with a slope of 5 going through 3, negative 2. We're doing this together. And then you're going to try one like this on your own. I always start from y equals mx plus b. Do you know the m? 5, because m is always that slope, and I told you the slope here. So our equation's really y equals 5x plus b. Now, what I need to do to find the b, anyone want to remind me what I have to do? Kaylin? Yeah, plug in those numbers. Plug in the 3 for x and the negative 2 for y, and we're going to make a little equation and we're going to solve. So I'm going to say negative 2 equals 5 times 3 plus b. So I know that 5 times 3 is 15. Negative 2 equals 15 plus b. Subtract 15. Subtract 15. We're going to get negative 17 for our b, which means our equation should be y equals 5x minus 17. And I hope this is looking a little familiar.
I think it's so helpful to label everything first.
Oh my gosh, the m, the x, the y.
Doing it, then afterwards.
I've seen too many people plug in those in the wrong places and absolutely label
Go
things.
through that exercise. Y equals mx plus b, label everything, and then just plug in. And then once you do it like 100 times.
I want you trying number 6. I want the equation of a line with a slope of negative 3 going through negative 1, 7, and use 5 as your model. Did you say the m was negative 3? Good. And that's all I'm going to do first. I'm just going to say y equals negative 3x plus b. Then we should be plugging in that point. And I'm going to say this is my x. And I'm going to say this is my y. So 7 equals negative 3 times negative 1 plus b. What's negative 3 times negative 1? Positive or negative? Positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. 7 equals 3 plus b, I think. Minus 3. Minus 3. How about a b value of 4? Can you nod your head if you got 4 for your b? Okay, so I'm going to say y equals negative 3x plus 4, and that's my line. Is this coming back a little?
I think the trickiest part is the negatives and positives. The sign errors. Just try to keep the
Yes.
negatives and positives.
And if you don't remember, that's what the calculator's for.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to look at these when they get a little bit trickier, like if I give you a slope that's a fraction. In number 7, we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to tell you the slope is negative 2/5, and it's going to go through negative 10, negative 3, and we're going to do this together. We're going to do 7 together, you'll do 8 on your own. Y equals mx plus b. Jan, do you know the m? Sure, m is the slope. I told you the slope. That's our negative 2/5. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus b. Then we're going to plug in our points. I'm going to plug in negative 10 where the x is. I'm going to plug in negative 3 where the y is. And I'm going to get negative 3 equals negative 2/5 times negative 10 plus b. And we got to remember how like these fractions work and stuff. What's the trick? Pedro. Negative 10 over 1. I never want to multiply a fraction by just a regular number. I want to do a fraction by a fraction. Because then I can just multiply the numerators, the tops, and multiply the denominators, the bottom. I'm going to get negative 3 equals, okay, negative 2 times negative 10 is positive 20, yeah. And 5 times 1 is 5. What is 20 over 5, though? 4. Negative 3 equals 4 plus b. Minus 4. Minus 4. Negative 7 is our b. So we're going to get negative 2/5 x minus 7. Oh, you mean you actually want to be able to see it? Sure. Really, the new part is the fraction thing, put it over 1, and then kind of go from there. I want you to go do this right now. Slope is 3/4. I want to go through 8, negative 11. See what you can do. Just put it over 1 and just go, yeah, we haven't done any adding yet. That's tougher. Not yet. We'll get there. By the way, for tonight's homework, I would definitely hold on to this packet because this is kind of going to be your model for every single problem you see in the homework.
But it's worth it to write it out.
Oh my gosh.
Step by step.
I've seen too many people try to combine too many steps, and that's where things go wrong. Write it all out, and everything will work the same way.
Sometimes these seem easy, but if you skip those steps later on when you get into harder numbers, like when you get into decimals or whatever.
No, it's going to be a pain.
You gotta be,
Show everything.
yeah. You gotta follow it.
Okay, so here we go. I've got negative 11 equals 3/4 times 8 plus b for like my third line over here. I'm going to make my 8 and 8 over 1. So negative 11 equals 24 over 4 plus b. 24 over 4 is 6. Let's see, minus 6 minus 6. I'm getting negative 17 for my b value. Did you? Negative 17? So y equals 3/4 x minus 17, I think. Questions? Turn the page. Parallel and perpendicular. Parallel, they're never going to cross. Perpendicular, they're crossed and they're making right angles when they cross. What's true about the slopes of parallel lines? They're the same. I think I want to just kind of write that on the top. Parallel lines equals same slope. Perpendicular lines. The slopes are, we use two words to describe this. We called them opposite reciprocals. We flipped it and we changed its sign. We're going to say opposite reciprocal slopes. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Number 9. We're going to write the equation of a line parallel to y equals negative 1/2 x plus 6 going through the point 4, 8. We're going to write the equation of the line parallel to y equals negative 1/2 x plus 6 going through 4, 8. And I know it's going to be y equals mx plus b because it's always y equals mx plus b. I am going to get you started and then you're going to finish this one. Parallel lines. Same slope or opposite reciprocal slopes? Say, what is my slope of the original line? Negative 1/2. So what's the slope of my new line? Negative 1/2 because it's parallel. We're going to say y equals negative 1/2 x plus b. You're going to go do the rest. You're going to use your 4 for your x, your 8 for your y. You're going to plug those in. And you're going to find your b. See what you can do here. Definitely use your calculator if you need to. So when I plugged in the 4, I made it a 4 over 1, so I could do stuff with that. 8 equals, let's see, negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. 2 times 1 is 2. We should get negative 4 over 2. I'm going to say negative 4 over 2 is negative 2 plus b. Add 2. Add 2. We're going to get a 10 for our b. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 10 for the answer over there? Maybe? You mean, yes? Kate, we're on page 3.
All you're doing is looking for a different b.
Yes. We're finding our slope based on is it the same or is it the opposite reciprocal. Then it's just like what we did on the previous page.
Because the lines are always the same slant. We're just going through a different line intercept.
Absolutely. Let's go to the bottom of the page. We're going to skip number 10. Number 11. I want to write the equation of the line perpendicular to y equals 3x minus 7. That goes through the point, negative 6, negative 8. We're going to start together, then you're going to finish. Is my slope the same that it was over here? Is it 3? No, because it's perpendicular. Who thinks they can remind me what that new slope is going to be? Darius. Good. Flip it. We'll make it 1/3 and change the sign. Opposite. Reciprocal. So it's going to be negative 1/3. So y equals negative 1/3 x plus b. I want you now to use your x and your y. Plug those in, go find your b. I am getting a double-digit number for my b. If you're not, you're wrong. Just barely a double-digit number, but a double-digit number, which might give away what it is. Danny, have you found your b value? What did you get for your b? Or what's your whole final answer? You can also say that. Negative 10 for the b. I like it. Perfect. Y equals negative 1/3 x minus 10. I like it. Over here, we're getting negative 1 times negative 6. That's 6 over 3. What is 6 over 3? It's 2. So negative 8 equals 2 plus b minus 2 minus 2. Negative 10 equals b. So we're going to get y equals negative 1/3 x minus 10. Are you also kind of seeing this is all sort of the same idea after a while? Either I tell you the slope, I tell you a line and say, well, it's parallel, so you're going to take the same slope, or perpendicular, you're going to flip it. On the next page, we need to review. Anyone still making notes, by the way? Turn the page. We need to review how to find the slope from a formula. First one, we are going to find the slope of the line that goes through 4, negative 6, and 2. Negative 2, and Jonathan, can we get that mask over your nose, please? And please make sure it stays there. Okay. There is a formula. Something minus something over something minus something. Does this sound like familiar? What? What is it? Kaylin. Very, very close. Kate, you want to make a small change to that? Yeah. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Always the y's on the top because the y's are like the rise and rise is on the top. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's our slope formula. So, when we did this in class, the very first thing that I always do is I'm going to label my points. I'm going to say x1, y1, and I'm going to say x2, y2. My slope is going to be, we're doing this one together, you'll do 14 on your own. y2, that's negative 2, minus y1, that's negative 6, so we are going to have that double negative happening over there. Over x2, 2, minus x1, 4. Okay, so now, what's the top? What? 4. Yeah, because remember our double negatives. Negative 2 plus negative 6. We're going to get a 4 up there. Bottom 2 minus 4, or 2 plus negative 4. Negative 2. Hello? Go down, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Simplify that. Give me 1 second.
You guys know this, right? What's the slope? Oh, that was fast.
She's going to head down. Yep, bye. Okay, so what is it really? What's the slope? Negative 2, I hope. 4 over negative 2, negative 2. You go do this one. Slope of the line through negative 3, negative 5, and 2, negative 10. Label your x1, y1, x2, y2. Do your subtraction, do your division. Let's do it. And of course, when you're done, do your simplifying.
This is a nice review.
I'm just a little disappointed we're missing so many people here today. But I'm recording things, so hopefully they're gonna watch, they're gonna listen, they're gonna get some review in there. Because tomorrow we do have to move on to some new stuff.
We're easing our way into the year.
I hope this is the problem you set up. Negative 10 minus negative 5 over 2 minus negative 3. Jan, what did your top become? What's negative 10 minus negative 5? I like it. Chop, chop. We've got negative 5 there. How about you tell me the bottom as well? While you're at it, want to tell me the final answer? Negative 1. Negative 5 over 5, negative 1 over there. Who got negative 1? Okay. Next thing we did was equations of lines where I don't tell you the slope. Let's do the equation of a line that goes through negative 8, negative 1, and 4, 8. I want the equation of the line that goes through -8, -1, and 4, 8. I didn't tell you the slope. So what do we have to do first? Pedro. Yeah, we've got to use our slope formula to find our slope. I've got x1 over there, y1 over there, x2, y2. We're going to go and we're going to find our slope. How about you get the slope and then you stop? Just get the slope and then stop. So Danny, -8, -1, and 4, 8. I label them x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm about to go find the m with my subtraction formula. And I feel like when you're done, it should still be a fraction. Just a slope, and then stop. Go simplify. Good. Good. Good, now just simplify that. Yep, good, just simplify that thing. You are all set. And some. Good. So we're going to go use that formula we used over here. I like it. So, we should have 8 minus -1 over 4 minus -8. Change. I'm getting 9 over 12. And then what can I divide them both by? 3. 3 over 4. Y equals 3/4 x plus b. Well, I shouldn't have boxed it, but we've got that. Next thing I need to do, I need to find the b. How do I do that? Reminder. How do I find the b? Well, like, what do I plug in? Darius. Oh, we can either plug in -8, -1, or 4, 8. I feel like one of those is going to be easier. I feel like 4, 8 is going to be easier just because they're positive. But if you want to use -8, -1, that'll work as well. I'm going to go do 4, 8. Actually, how about you go finish this? You pick whatever, but when I do my work, I'll do 4, 8. And let's see if we can finish this one. Okay. There's a lot of steps here. So now we've got to find the b. I could use either this point for x and y, or I can use this point. It doesn't really matter. How about we use this one just because they're both positive? Plug that in for x, plug that in for y. And then it's just like what we were doing. So you're going to say 8 equals 3/4 times 4 plus b. Yeah, you know what to do. And then go solve that. Actually, I'll keep it so you can't see things until you're done. Well, when you are done, take a look. Your work will have looked different If you chose the other point, if you chose -8, -1, but you're going to get the same B in the final answer, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick. Questions? So if I don't tell you the slope, we have a formula that we can use to find the slope. I think we're going to hold off on number 16 for right now because I got to make sure we get through the rest of the packet to jog your memory on those things. Graph the lines. Y equals 3 and x equals -1. We're doing this together. Do you remember Vux Hoy? Does that sound at all like familiar? What this says is a vertical line has an undefined slope and the equation is x equals. A horizontal line has a 0 slope and is y equals. So I think y equals 3, that's going to be a horizontal line at a height of 3. So I'm going to go up to 3 and I'm going to go draw in a horizontal line. And it's going to look like this. I think this was from that Monday before break, I think. Maybe Tuesday.
It really does help to write that. Too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Because even I get like,
Yeah, uh-huh.
just the opposite way.
Yeah.
Oh, y is vertical. No, wait a minute.
X equals -1 is going to be a vertical line moved over to -1. So I'm going to go over to -1 and I'm going to draw myself a little vertical line over there. Like that. You are now going to graph x equals 2 and y equals 0. Try those two right now on your own. I think this was the day that Kate wasn't here. Do you see what I... Okay. A lot of this is just kind of seeing the pattern and then using that. Jonathan, x equals 2, you doing a vertical line or a horizontal line? Vertical. X equals v, vertical. I want a vertical line at 2, so right over there. And Kate, y equals 0, what are you going to do, vertical or horizontal? Yeah, how high are you going to move it up or down? Yeah, you're not moving it up or down at all. It's going to be right over your x-axis. So it's going to look kind of like that. X equals vertical, y equals horizontal. How do I remember? With this Vux-Hoy thing. We only did that for about half that day before break, though. The other half of the day, I gave you information and asked you to write some equations of lines. So let's turn the page. Number 19, I would like the equation of the vertical line that goes through the points 3, 2. And the way we did all of these equations of lines was we drew a little graph of what's going on. I'm going to go plot 3, 2. 3, 2. What sort of line am I going to draw through it? Horizontal or vertical? Why? Because I told you a vertical line. Yeah, exactly. Don't think too hard about that. Vertical line over here is going to look like that. But that wasn't the direction. The direction was to write the equation of that line. Vux Hoy. Is this going to be an x equals or a y equals equation? Just say it. X equals? Yeah. Vertical, x equals. So my equation is x equals. What? 2. Caitlin? 3. So let's see. My vertical line was moved over to 3. Yeah, I'm going to say x equals 3 over there. Do you see where I'm getting that from? It's a vertical line. How far over did I move it? It's moved over to 3, so x equals 3. Also, I think you could say 3 is the x coordinate of that point, so x equals 3 would also work like that. I would like you to go do the equation of the horizontal line that goes through -5, -1. Go graph it, and then see if you can make your equation. Jonathan, mask over your nose, please. Please make sure it stays there. So graph the point, graph the line, and then once you see it, make your equation. Leticia, should it be x equals or y equals? Y equals, yeah. What do you have for your equation? Y equals? -1, sure. It's a line moved down 1 space. Y equals -1. Next thing. Number 21. I want the equation of the line with a 0 slope going through -1, 4. And we're going to do this together. I want the equation with of a line with a 0 slope through -1, 4. -1, 4 is about there. What does a 0 slope mean? Horizontal? Vertical, Caitlin. Horizontal? Yeah, 0. Horizontal. What would I have to say if I wanted it to be vertical? What sort of slope? Undefined. What do you think I'm going to make you do in 22? Yeah, I'm going to make you do that over there. But 0 slope, that means horizontal. So I'm going to draw in my little horizontal line over there. And I think this looks like a y equals equation because it's horizontal. Y equals what number? Y equals 4. You are going to go do this with an undefined slope going through 2, 0. Bucks. Boy. Like every time that I give a test on this, I see most of the class write those words by these problems, and then they get every single one of these totally correct. So I think it's worth writing those down. It's so easy to mess those up. My seniors are still doing that sometimes. Undefined? Danny, what's undefined? Vertical or horizontal? Vertical, yeah. So, Danny, do you have your equation of that line? Perfect. X equals, because it's a vertical line, x equals what number? X equals 2. We're not going to do 23 and 24 right now, but in those I was going to give you 2 points. You would graph them and see, is it vertical or is it horizontal, and write the equation. You'll be able to do that in the homework. I'm not worried. I do want to go over the lines that are not in the right form, the stuff that Mrs. Bach went over with you guys on that Wednesday. This is not right. It shouldn't say convert a graph the line. It should say convert and graph the line. 6x minus 4y equals -12. Remember that we kind of talked about how lines don't have to be in y equals mx plus b form. But the problem is if they're not, you have no way of knowing the slope, the y-intercept, so we need to convert them. We're going to do this one together. You're going to do the next one on your own. Drawing in that line. I want the y by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the 6x. How do you get rid of positive 6x? Negative 6x, minus 6x on both sides. Minus 6x, minus 6x. Those are gone, leaving me with negative 4y on the left. Can you do negative 12 minus 6? Are they like terms or are they not? No. So we're going to just sort of leave